Da 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 da.
Da-dum. That's pretty good. Wait,
Very
do yours
good.
one more time? Let me just see yours isolated.
Da 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 da.
That was pretty. That's pretty musical, man. Like it felt like the beginning of an old Batman episode.
Okay.
Oh, dude. That's music
yeah.
right
No,
there.
I mean, whew, if anything, if this doesn't pan out for us, I think we have a career in very short jingles.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll be Pepsi, Coke. They'll hire us to come in for like 3 minutes. It'll be good because they can pay us a lot for a very short period of time. They won't take too much of their time. We'll get a lot of money.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, and we always have to request the masters. I don't know what that means, but I've seen a lot of movie films where the master copy of any recording is very important to them. So,
Well, you know what I got right in front of me right now, Eric?
oh, I hope it's something good.
It's the master copy of Ichiro Oda's One Piece, volumes 1, 2, and 3, provided by my tour guide Eric Vu. Because what? Why am I even saying the word tour guide?
why
That's
do we do
because
that?
we're doing a podcast that's called Grand Line Tourist, where we together wander through Ichiro Oda's masterpiece, One Piece. It's a chapter by chapter re-examining or examining depending on who you are. I am your tourist, Jacob Jarecki. I already revealed the name of the tour guide who is guiding me through this place and who is probably wondering why he ever agrees to let me try to do the intro. Eric, who are you?
You know what?
Repeat your name back to me.
We're both struggling a little bit today. It's just one of those days. It's like right before the holidays. You know how it is. But like Jacob was saying, I am Eric Vu. I am the tour guide. I'm going to help you guys through this. I'm going to help Jacob through. I'm going to help you through. I'm going to help everybody through this hard period, this hard time that is this chapter. Jacob, why don't you do a quick little breakdown, little itinerary of what we got today?
Oh, yeah. No, after my beautiful intro, of course, trust me with this. We are doing Chapter 13, Treasure. And what's going on here? Luffy has just survived being thrown through a building. I mean, if it wasn't particularly, climactic, I kind of thought he was going to survive being our lead character and all. But, you never know. Could have taken a quick switch to Nami's life or something. But regardless of that, we then find our favorite dog, Chou Chou, defending the pet food store from a gigantic lion and Mohji. They go toe to toe for quite a while. We learn a little bit more about
Chow Chow.
Chou Chou. We learn a little bit more. He seems to have quite a large backstory for being a randomly introduced new dog. But
yes,
there we go. We get to see a little bit more of that. Ultimately, Luffy is not particularly pleased that Chou Chou is getting torn apart for just protecting his treasure, and he stands up for poor little Chou Chou, and we learn a whole new move, Gum Gum Gavel, in the process as he, I would say, takes out the lion, and basically, in pretty gruesome detail, and also pretty gruesome detail, taking out Mohji as well.
Yep.
And after that epic fight, we learn that Nami is a bit upset with pirates in general. She's just seeing all this destruction, bad things happening to bad creatures. But Luffy, is the pirate that's going to change your mind about those things because he saved a little dog of bag food, a little bit of Chou Chou for Chou Chou himself. Last little bit of treasure. Before we learn that Buggy is not pleased after learning all this, and he says, "Ready, my special Buggy balls." That's not. You know what? That's actually not the voice that I imagined for Buggy. To be honest, I imagine it more.
Like Mark Hamill doing the Joker.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's
how every clown's
attempt
gonna
to pull it
sound
off
forever in our minds. I forget what he sounds like too. I have like a guess of the anime Japanese voice that's being used, but all of it's just different variation of Mark Hamill doing the Joker. So I guess that's what that's.
So when you go through a manga, you just have Mark Hamill doing all the voices, huh?
If they're a murderous clown, then yeah.
Okay, fine. No, I thought maybe he just did everything. You're like, no, I think Mark Hamill could pull off this dog. You Chou Chou. Go take a crack at it in my head, Mark Hamill. Go.
All right. This is a chunky little chapter. Remember how you were talking about how you didn't emotionally connect to Chou Chou because you're a monster? Did you? Did you emotionally connect in this one?
I far more connected. I think you can't watch like David go against Goliath and not feel for David, not feel for little Chou Chou. That was impressive.
All right, so now this is for Eric's. I mean, you have your tinfoil time. I mean, I guess I got OP got jokes, but I got like this portion at least. I want to start naming the Eric deep dives or scuba diving thoughts with Eric, because you dive deep to scuba diving thoughts. Is that work?
Scuba thoughts? I mean, hey, it actually fits very on brand with our whole podcast.
I know. We're doing it. We're doing it.
You're a tour guide. I didn't realize I not only did I hire you to like take me through, but like you're planning the activities for the day.
Yeah.
You're gonna take me to the cool sites, do a little bit of scubaing. I like it.
All naming conventions aside, essentially, I want to talk about and really digest this fight, because, like you said in your summary there, they spend a lot of time on Chou Chou for it's a dog, which is nothing against dog. But usually they're side characters, so why are we spending more time on it than we need to? So I want to bring up a few points. The last arc,
yes,
was about Navy and how the Navy is not like the bad parts of the Navy. This is the next arc right after, right? Which is what I think is just an examining of the bad parts of being a pirate.
Okay,
right? Like what,
I can see it.
Like the worst versions of what pirates are and what they do to people. So some thoughts that I wrote down here, right? This is Chou Chou is protecting a sentimental treasure from Mohji and the Lion, and to Mohji and the Lion, who are the pirates in this situation, it's just another thing to pillage for them. Like, it doesn't even register to them what this treasure means to another person. They just take.
Yeah. I think the Lion just had like a little bit of hunger, and that was their whole justification for going at this. Like that's not enough to take away some true and meaningful, deep felt feelings. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, and I think so. He does go like, I think Oda goes out of his way to kind of show like the first-hand recounting of what a victim of piracy looks like in the form of Chou Chou, because this fight is 4 pages. And like, yeah, you guys cannot really call it a fight, but it is a four page fight with like a beginning, middle, and then an end, right? And the end, I will say, is the fire that Luffy sees with poor little Chou Chou just crying into the fire. Yeah, it's not fair that he made a dog cry, but you know what? It works and it hits. But in this fight, we get this like beautifully drawn and written thing where he's like, every time he gets hit, he thinks about his master and the times that he spent with his master, like through all the ups and downs of it, right? On the days that they sell well, on the days where they don't sell well, on like just being on the days where he's just goofing around with his master, with his friend, while he's getting knocked around by this lion.
It's super cinematic, like just
it is.
Chou Chou takes a punch and like remembers when the store was struggling. I mean, that's just that's pure cinema right there,
Yeah, and
it's such a technique.
And it's cool to see in this moment, in this interaction, because we finally get to see that, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, now we're starting to really, it made me think about, like, when pirates steal treasure, because that's their thing. When they steal treasure, it is to them just a financial or, like, a selfish, this is, like, a knee-jerk thing, like an impulsive thing that I need to get done right now. And that they never give it any more thought. But to the victims, to the people who are losing these treasures, like it's everything. They're taking the world from them in an instant. So knowing that, I yes-anded myself a little bit and jumping onto to that coming from the point of Nami, who specifically is stealing from pirates, right? And her deal is that she's gonna steal from pirates because I wrote that like her and Chou Chou now share they're the same. And that's why I think they spent so much time on Chou Chou in this. We don't know what Nami went through, right? But Chou Chou, what we saw Chou Chou go through, now we can, like, especially as a kid, I can explain, like, let's say my, if I ever have a kid one day and I let him read this arc, I can, like, this is such a good way to explain to a child.
Wait,
like,
this is the arc this is too much, this is too adult content for you, young child.
But this is what I'm saying.
Like, you know what? It is, One Piece, and we'll get into a little bit. I actually have some thoughts about how violent it actually seems a little bit at certain times. But you're right.
That's fair.
You may have to, there's a certain age to read One Piece. And sorry for interrupting. Keep going. Your future child that may read this, you're letting him read it. What's going on?
I think this is such a good way of, like, showing this is what Nami feels. This is why she is the way she is, because she went through something very similar to what Chou Chou was going through. The difference is that we see Chou Chou going through it. We haven't seen Nami go through her thing, right?
I like.
And this is like
this read,
and that's what it is, and that's why she steals from them, because they've taken something precious. They've taken her treasure from her, someone who she hasn't labeled her treasure, but someone who was important to her. And now she steals from them because like they don't. To them, it never. All it is to them is like one small thing. It doesn't mean the same thing that it does to the people who originally owned it. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna use it for me, right? But she's trying to fix it by doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
What I think Luffy is the counter argument to that is what we see in this arc, in this chapter. Right.
No, it resonated. Like a thing that resonated with me kind of strongly when you were talking about all that is the emotion that I feel when I see anybody kind of just getting swindled and it hurts them. You know.
Yeah.
Like a very modern example of this is when someone falls for like a scam and like, you know, gives away some of their money to somebody who was just preying on somebody who didn't understand the internet. Yeah. Like, man, kind of like Nami, I hate the people that did that. Like, I don't feel hatred very much, but like in this example, her hatred of pirates is a little bit akin to my hatred of scammers. I just can't take that selfishness, you know. It's rough. Like how can you take that from somebody, something important to them?
So I felt like this is such a cool little chapter because I was thinking about like why this chapter hit me so hard, and just really like digesting it and seeing how like its placement in the story so far. And the biggest fight that Mohji has is against Chou Chou, you know, like because when he fights Luffy, it's not really a fight. Luffy destroys both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My last thought on this thing is that Luffy is almost like the concept of like an emotional treasure and taking someone's treasure from them. It's sacred to him. Like this idea of like you don't mess with another man's treasure, another person's treasure, right? Like he's gonna fight. He'll fight other people to protect. Like he'll fight people to protect the people he just loves treasure. Like that's what his thing is, and that's why I think he shocks Nami so much at the end of this chapter is because like why did it matter to him to do that stuff?
Yeah, and it kind of brings up this idea that ultimately I have no clue what Luffy is really going to look like when he's like a full-fledged pirate with a crew, you know?
Yeah.
Because what does a Luffy-like pirate do?
Yeah.
If it's not taking treasure from other people, how does it work, you know? I mean, I think there's enough bad pirates in the world that he can just encounter them and that can basically be a lot of what his life is going to look like. But I'm not so sure because it almost is like he's going to wind up serving less of a pirate-like function by the time if he holds to all these ideals in a certain way. I guess one thing to bring up a little bit that does seem a little bit more pirate-like is what he did to Mohji and the lion. In regards to, I actually thought like I had written down in my notes that like, is Luffy like really angry and really vindictive? And I don't quite think so. I think I was reading it more along the lines of, if you break the sacred rule, you pay the price. Like that you can't get away. Because Mohji was begging, you know, like please don't hurt me. Like that's why this fight was not as interesting as the one with the Chou Chou, because he kind of gave up and says like, oh my gosh, like I can't deal with you. Please don't hurt me, right? And Luffy's like, sorry, but like you chose to steal treasure from somebody else. This consequence of getting more like destroyed by me is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit more of like a counter argument to what I just brought up myself, is that like how does Luffy even fit in with the idea of pirates if he doesn't have this stealing, but maybe it's more of a bit more of the roguish type, you know, that is going around doing this sort of thing. I don't know, what do you think of the violence there? And, I mean just how stylized it was.
I think I like what you're saying about like what is his deal now, right? He doesn't want to do what we typically think pirates do, which is like pillaging and stealing treasure and stuff like that. Like he doesn't want to do any, like right now he doesn't seem like he wants to do any of it. So
yeah,
it begs the question like, so what's his code? So he has some sort of code then that we're slowly learning, which I'm excited for you to learn to see if it hits with you, because I know what it is. Okay. Right, but I want to save it for you because he's gonna say it. He'll say it later. I don't know when, but he'll say it later.
Right.
But the violence here is really, to me, it ends up being more comical than I realized, because I didn't think it was going to be, because you found it more jarring because it was a little...
I know, it's also very comical. It's just that, like, I mean, the lion practically doesn't have a head, and when it's in the ground, you know what I mean? Which, you're right, it's very comical, but at the same time, it's just a very interesting violence in One Piece, you know? Like, as far as I know, what I can't actually tell, the thing that maybe I'm most questioning is, are those characters dead? Like, is that lion dead? Like, because then that feels pretty brutal, right? I can totally laugh it off if neither of them are dead, but I don't know enough about the violence in One Piece to be certain that they're not.
I will tell you that for sure, when characters die, we know they died. Like,
oh, okay.
Like that mountain bandit who got shot in the head in the very first chapter. Yeah, we can assume that guy's not getting up.
Okay, but I can't assume that these creatures are just dead. Destroyed out of the ounce of their life.
Yeah, for the most part, I don't know. Superhero, like, main characters.
It's kind of super. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would probably be more like so. I think that was kind of what was stopping me from taking it in the comical fashion, just because it was pretty brutal. But I can see it now as just like, oh, this is the cartoonish way they are being punished, and then I can take it more in stride with the way you're taking it.
Yeah. He also. This is very similar to the punch he throws against, Helmeppo.
Yeah.
The panel where he actually lands the smack on Mohji.
You know what? Yeah, it just, I guess this punch, it just looks so, I feel looks a little more brutal, maybe. I don't know. He's heading towards the ground.
Yeah. You know what's so brutal to me is that we kind of established that the black part is his blood. But you see the blood splatter up top, and then the fact that Mohji's already hitting the ground, it means that Luffy hit him with such a force that by the time our eyes, like, it's flat and he hit the floor at the same time. Like, he hit the guy really hard.
He did hit him really hard. And maybe that was, like, if you take away those blood spurts, you take away a little bit of the action lines in this one. Yeah. It's a little bit more in the comical side. It just looks, ouch, But, I think I'll be able to place One Piece violence more as we go on, But right, for now, I wasn't as comfortable just laughing away the Luffy's vengeance.
And it comes kind of out of nowhere, because I know Luffy, because this is rereading it again, like I kind of know like what takes them off and stuff like that. But like for you as a first time reader, he goes from like 2 to 10 very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and I have to admit, they do give you a bit of warning with the previous page right before that big punch has a very Luffy angry face, which, to be honest, I want to say 99% of the time Luffy's smiling.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation. This is not like this is a pure on teeth gritted scowl that is preceding the punch into Mohji's face. So something's happened. You're right. There's a switch, and it's clearly been triggered. It's been it's been showed up. So the consequences are real, and maybe they'll become more accustomed to Luffy's anger in the way that you just mentioned you are a little bit.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like you mentioned, this guy, but he only has his lion, so when he says his lion, get wrecked. Also, I have to give you points, because I never thought about this in the realm of this current arc, but they've only ever seen Buggy have devil fruit powers. So at this point, Mohi's like pooping his pants. He's never seen anybody else have powers.
What did you do with your arms?
So he's like freaking out because he's super scared of this guy now. But the flip
and this is a new Gum Gum power, right?
It's a Gabble. Right? Yeah. I'm wondering if he was inspired by Captain Mo in the last arc. But that might be stretching it a bit. But yeah, I think what really triggers them is that.
Wait, did you just call Captain Morgan Captain Mo?
I did.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know you were on shortened first name basis.
Because it sounds cooler.
No, that's fair enough. I didn't know. I almost let it go, and I was like, no. Did Eric just do that? Did my tour guide just call him Captain Mo? I just had to hear it. Just had to make sure.
I think for me, a few things triggered him. One is that this guy, not only did he mess up Chou Chou's like treasure, he like burned it down. Like that's like unnecessary, right? Like he went far and beyond to strip this dog of something that he knew was important to a dog, because the dog bit him and put up a fight, right? And then on top of that, at this moment, Mohi's like being a wuss. So both of those things make Luffy very impatient, very frustrating, because like you're not sticking up to the things that you stood for, which is like, apparently if you're gonna be a jerk, then you better be a jerk and like stick by your things and fight me.
Own it.
Right? Like, you're gonna fight me now because I philosophically believe this thing and you think that thing. But that's wrong, apparently, because you're a wuss. Because you're not about to fight up for the things that you want to stand for. So, on top of what you did to Chou Chou's thing, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna destroy you the way I did. And that's why, like, he's like, I'll apologize and just let me live. I think that's what makes him really mad. Like, Which you apologizing is not going to fix the fact that you burned his place down.
Yeah.
Then, which I think is really cool when we end this arc with him bringing back, like, you actually see this box in the lion's mouth in an earlier page that he brings back to Chou Chou.
Oh, you see what box? Sorry?
The food, the dog food, the pet feed, the box that Luffy brings back. Yeah,
it's in the mouth of the lion?
It's in the mouth of the lion back in page 7.
Oh my goodness! I didn't realize that he got it from the lion. Okay,
yeah,
that's actually a pretty cool detail. That's like I didn't catch that one. That is amazing.
But he doesn't. I don't even know if the lion ate it, dude. Like I think he was just chewing on it because when Luffy brings it back, the box is still kind of put together,
intact for the most part.
Yeah, so it's almost like he was eating it for fun. Like it's again just another thing reinforcing the whole idea of like this meant literally nothing to them. To him, that box was just a chew toy. But now to Chou Chou, it's the last thing. The last piece of his master that's left. Yeah. What a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like this little chapter that much. A chapter that's named after my favorite Bruno Mars song, Treasure.
Ooh, all right.
Bringing it back. And bringing it back. The callback, folks. The callbacks.
He's moved on. He's Silk Sonic now.
I know. He is. Any other thoughts before we move on from this? Before we go to some ha-has?
No. That was my main one there. Just the discussion of how that violence hit you versus how it hit me, and it was a very good discussion. I think a lot was revealed.
It is true, and I feel like that's such a fair question, especially because you don't have much like anime and like manga experience, whereas like I don't know, they have the American thing too, where like violence is generally treated a little more loosely than like the other, like let's say sexual content or mature like content in that realm, right?
Yeah.
That it's even doubly true for Japanese animation stuff, which I've always known. Like as a kid, I've always known the Japanese animation was always very violent.
Oh, yeah. No, I think I kind of know some of these things, too. I think maybe it's a little harder in the manga form than the anime form. Because, like, I think I'm picturing the lion going into the face down into the dirt, and then you hear a little bit like, arr, arr, and like, oh, my face. You got some indication of being alive, I guess, was all it was. I think it was I needed to be there to check for a pulse, and I'm like, oh, these guys are clearly breathing. It's fine. It was just, I was like, whoa. But I gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Well,
and you know what else I got? Eric?
Oh God, I hope you have a segue.
I got jokes, but you know who else has jokes? OP. One Piece has got jokes in there.
Nice, nailed it. Nailed it.
All right, and I'm gonna call out on the dog food. The picture of the dog on the dog food looks a lot like Chou Chou, and like not that it's necessarily the case. It probably isn't exactly supposed to be Chou Chou, but I'm just envisioning a world where Chou Chou is the brand of dog food sold to the dog food store he protects, and it just really tickled me, even if it's just a dog that looks like Chou Chou. But I like to believe that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of evidence to say that it is him. I mean, like the ears pointed up though, so maybe it's like a little puppy version of him. And could like be. His tongue, I'm pretty sure that's the tongue sticking out of that. It is on the single panel. There's the tongue sticking out of the picture. And it's Chou Chou, right?
I like it. It's Chou Chou, and so that just it just brings a lot to my mind of like how much more of a business partner and important asset Chou Chou was to the business,
Yeah. Dang, man, that makes me sadder.
We got jokes. It's also funny.
It's
cute.
Not even funny.
Okay, fine. What do you got?
I only have one joke that I really like because this one just hit so hard. This one has such an emotional pull. My favorite joke is but how? Your body demolishes a building and you walk away without a scratch. That's crazy. And then Luffy's response is, crazy is good.
Crazy is good. Yeah, no, I read that too. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. It's just a nice witty retort.
And I just laughed. Like, I laughed out loud because I was like, yeah. That's what else is there to say? All of a sudden, Luffy's like super smart, right? At the beginning of an arc, he's an idiot. But, once we start getting to the...
I couldn't tell. I thought, I think that just might have been what was on Luffy's head. I think what it is, if you don't say too much and you actually are a little dumb, some of the things you come out sound really wise. I think Luffy he just thinks crazy is good in general, and it came out that way. But no, I'm kind of with you. It did feel like extra on the nose. Just it felt like a good stab back.
Yeah, so good. But then again, just to reinforce, like, it's such a good point you brought up. no one has seen this devil fruit stuff, so they don't get Luffy. I forget how much of a surprise he is as a being, because again, I've been with him for almost 20 years. No. So he's not surprising to me anymore, but putting myself back into the characters in this moment, in East Blue, they haven't seen people with this power. He is super surprising as a person, as a thing, as a concept. He's gonna freak people out, which is fun.
Yeah, and just to recap, at this point in the chapter, we still haven't had... Did Nami has not seen his powers yet, right?
Nope.
Yeah,
not in this chapter.
So we're still it's funny. I mean, because we follow Luffy through the chapter as he uses his powers, but who's seen him yet? It seems like the only one from Buggy's crew, which might come into play, is that I guess Buggy's crew really hasn't seen it either at all.
Well, just Mohji,
except for Mohji, who's got a face in the ground. So that'll be tough to send out the alarm, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Should we do it?
Should we do it?
Should we get to the part where... We fight.
Sorry, I was trying to get you angry by repeating back what you said, because you know what it's time for, Eric?
I thought what you were doing...
a panel battle.
But to finish my thought from earlier, I felt like I knew where you were going with the copying my statement, but I wasn't gonna fall into it. I was gonna keep my cool.
Ah, you did. It was impressive. You got me to the point where I couldn't keep my cool, and I had to reveal just how uncool I was being by repeating what you said.
It's all a chess match.
You know what?
It's all a chess match.
Well, you clearly have the upper hand here, Mr. Tour Guide. So tell us what's going on.
Right, folks. This session of the podcast is called the Panel Battle for a reason, because we're gonna battle creatively at least artistic critiquing of specific panels within this chapter that we believe are the best ones. Either Jacob's is the best one or mine is the best one, but we need you to vote. We need you to tell us if we're right or wrong, or if we're so wrong that you have your own panel. And the way you do that is by emailing in at grandlinetourist@gmail.com. Again, grandlinetourist@gmail.com. Just give us, shoot us an email. Also, we're on at the Apple Store, which we would love some ratings. So if you could just give us some ratings and then tell us both why our panel choices are horrendous. As long as you give us 5 stars, I'll take anything you say.
Your review will be read. If there are expletives, they will be bleeped. It'll be great. But you know what? That's been enough chatter and not enough panel. Eric, you see my panel there? Go ahead and bring it up.
I will. Let me do this. Okay.
Now, the panel you're going to be focusing in on is the middle right.
Oh my goodness! Why'd you choose? You're a monster, Jacob.
Let them know what's going on. Let the listeners know.
This is mid fight. Chou Chou and Mohji and the lion fight. Right. There is mid fight, and in this panel. This is actually after Chou Chou has come back and bit the lion once, and the lion now is it? Do you think he's flinging Chou Chou into the window, or is he carrying, pushing Chou Chou against the window? What do you think in that panel?
I think this is a fling. This is lion whoosh, whipping the wrist towards the direction of the window, and Chou Chou was struggling to hang on, but is ultimately not going to be able to, and is going to get flung into that window.
Yeah, so he's getting flung, and we get some exclamation points. Doom, and the onomatopoeia is
whack.
Whack.
Yes,
which is so good.
Wait, so you think I'm a monster for picking this panel?
Yeah, I just think you like to see Chou Chou get hurt. First, you're like, I don't emotionally connect with this dog. I don't know why he's here. He just eats keys. Now you're like, I take enjoyment from him getting punished. That's what I'm getting from your reading, from your choices.
It's not incorrect. It's not completely incorrect. I'll have to say that it was tough. I wanted to pick a panel that showed Chou Chou's resilience, but I also happened to think the ones where Chou Chou are getting hurt are more emblematic of showing that resilience. Chou Chou is willing to take this amount of pain and still hang on to that wrist of the lion as he's being flung away. So it wasn't an obvious choice. It was a tough choice, but this is the one that I felt summed all that up for me.
Man, it's very brutal too. Well, he does get up after this, so I will say, this is a brutal.
At least this isn't like Chou Chou's face stuck in the ground and no movement. So I know Chou Chou's alive.
This is Chou Chou's like I could do this all day moment, man. This is his his Captain America moment, right? Like he gets back up. He's like, I could do this all day, and then they burn down his, they burn down the feast.
Yeah, and they're like, well, fine.
Right, where'd the fire come from? Mohji, like you.
That is true.
Jerk.
The fire breathing lion. I don't know.
I will say, I didn't choose this panel, but I will say that panel of Chou Chou watching the fire, like just a few pages later, is like heartbreaking. He conveys so much.
I almost picked it.
Yeah, it's so good, and he's barking at it, right? He's roughing at it. And then Luffy, it's so good. There's too much emotion in this chapter about a bog.
I know. About a bog.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Goodness.
All right, my turn. Can I show you mine?
Yes. Bring it up. Bring it on. Ooh. So, we have this is a little bit after Luffy and Chou Chou have sat down after. Oh no, this is the moment where Nami is seeing Luffy having just given Chou Chou the last surviving bit of pet food, and the particular panel is kind of like a zoom in on that pet food, and Nami's realization is listed. He fought that lion ... for the dog's sake! ! And we see it is labeled pet food. It's it's not the pet food in the best shape boxed anymore. It's been a little bit crumpled, a little bit squished, but you can still make out what I believe to be our mascot of mass production of this pet food, Chou Chou, on the container. But no, I really like this. It's kind of a detail close-up shot, which is kind of fun. And imagine did you pick this more for Nami's realization, kind of what the treasure is all about, or for the what actually makes up the panel itself? Just you're intrigued by the dog food, you want to try some?
Oh, mostly the latter. No.
Okay, of course.
No, it was exactly what you said. I just think I wrote down I like the weight of this panel, even though it's a very simple, just a very simple close up. But I also think this is a turning point for Nami, because again, this arc is mostly about, like, as much as it's about Port Town, it's about Nami, because at this to this point in Nami's life, she only knows that pirates take. They take lives, they take treasures. And this is the first time where she realizes that. Like Luffy, who is a pirate, is giving.
Wow,
which I think is cool. and I think
it is cool.
It's a very brilliant kind of panel to kind of give that. It's very small, it's very quick, but I think it conveys a lot of that for her, at least in this moment.
No, well chosen.
Thank you.
And you know what? I think I'm gonna let you lead us out with an onomatopoeia today. What you feeling? What you thinking?
Today, because we played roles last time. I am gonna be. No, last time. Yes, this is fair. I'm gonna be the roaring fire, and you're gonna be You're gonna be Chou Chou, and you're gonna bark at the roaring fire of your pet owner. So make sure remember there's a lot of weight. There's a lot. Your character in this very specific moment is going through a lot of emotional stuff.
Okay. Gotcha.
So try to get to that space, right? Or try to get that space. Try to Uda Hagen your way into the space that you need to. There you go.
Damn it! Just Uda hogging my way out is what you did there.
No, you got it. Focus.
I got it.
Respect for acting. Okay, there you go. There it is. Okay, I will be the.